Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Swans Cast, everyone, after a good victory away from home once again for the Swans. So we've got Lee, Scott and Chris with us today. All right, lads?
Oi, oi.
Yeah, good.
Up a fucking Swans.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty, don't forget to like the video. It does massively help us on the channel. Lets us know you like what we're doing. And subscribe as well to keep up to date with everything that we do put out. Match reviews then. What do we think of the match? Scott, we'll go to you first this time.
Oh, privileged.
Yeah.
Good win. Good away win. Another 3
Yeah.
points on the road. Struggled in parts, I think. I think the scoreline flattered us a lot. We were under the cosh for about 60 minutes of that game.
Well, I think you messaged me before we started saying that we were going to smash them, and
yeah. Well, we did smash them in score, but in performance, I think it was a closer game than what the score told.
yeah, that's fair enough. I think that's a fair reflection on what happened. You got anything you'd like to add on to that, then, Lee?
No, not really. I think Scott hit the nail on the head. I think we scored with our only three chances of the game, what I can remember. It was just a bit of a boring game. We seemed like we were in control, took our chances, but then they came out the second half.
Yeah.
We struggled a bit, but not really much to add on what Scott said.
I think away from home, you'd expect them to come out second half and have a go when they're 2-0 down.
I think the third goal killed it off, didn't it? Once we scored that third goal, it just killed it off then.
And in hindsight, I guess, like, with it being 3-1, you'd say obviously we dealt with it well, but it could have been, from what happened, it could have been different. But yeah, Chris, anything you would like to say?
Just a couple of good goals, isn't there?
Yeah. Anyone in particular?
Hourihane and Grimes.
Do you have a favourite?
Yeah, Hourihane, his goal was quite good, isn't it? On the outside of the foot.
Yeah, outside of the foot, it looked like it curled a little bit. We were trying to see if there was a slight deflection, but inconclusive without a replay. But I don't think so. Lee was dubious.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a deflection in there when he hits that.
No chance.
But I'm
mate.
sure
That's
when
all
the highlights come out.
wizardry.
Yeah, wizardry. I'm sure when the highlights come out, we'll be able to clarify that point then. Okay, we'll talk about the first half first of all then. So, I mean, we went in half-time 2-0 up. Bit of a solid performance, really. I thought we struggled a little bit at the start to get going. But we're away from home. And probably our first proper period where we started controlling the game, I think. Then we got a goal from the corner. Oh, another corner, sorry, from Hourihane's what was first, wasn't it? So, what do you think of his goal then, about how that came about? There was an assist for Jan Dander. So, yeah, what do we think, Lee?
Yeah, it's a good goal. Definitely a deflection, but Dander's assist was good. I think he was quiet for the most part of the game, but quite clever the way he just laid it off. And a good strike, really. Even if it was touching, it was a good strike. So, fair play to him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was good play, wasn't it? Low put it in first of all, and it was a good touchdown by Jan Dander to lay Hourihane off, and obviously he's got a good left foot on him. Didn't you say there was a tweet that we saw? I'm not sure the truth of it, but 7 of our last goals have been scored with a left foot. Is that what you said?
Wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, it's a bit.
8, wasn't it? Yeah, so yeah.
It's quite good. Left foot goals are always nice. Moving on then, so we got Matt Grimes. Obviously, it seems like a little bit of a competition for who can score the best goal today. So, better or worse than Hourihane's? What are we saying?
It was on par. I think you need to bring in that meme that we saw on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
You'll have to click that in.
The Spider-Man, yeah.
Because I think Grimes is playing like buzzing to Hourihane's goal.
Yeah, well, but another spec that. Go on.
One of them was a deflection, so I think Grimes' goal was better.
Still going with the deflection.
Mate, you are fucking deluded.
We're going to have to put a poll out, I think, on Twitter to settle this one. But yeah, so we go for a deflection.
I'm sure Grimes is just like I'm sure he's stepped up massively since Hourihane's come in though. Another left-footed midfielder come in. He's just the 2 or 3 games on the Hourihane's played, Grimes has gone up another level again.
Yeah, maybe as I was saying to you earlier during the match, like obviously he's got the sort of I want to say, don't want to say burden, but like that responsibility of being captain. He kind of had all the responsibility a lot of the time of all the set plays. I know he didn't take all of them. We got Danda and Roberts that do get involved sometimes, but in general, he does a lot of the corners, the free kicks, stuff like that. Now Hourihane's come in. You'd probably say his delivery is better. Maybe he's taken some of that pressure off him to allow him to show other parts of his game. From corners and stuff.
Is 10 times better than Grimes.
Well, I said he's
at
better.
Dead Balls. Wow.
I wasn't arguing that point.
Didn't come across convincingly.
Well, is what
he's
it is.
10 times better, mate, and that's the end of it.
All right, thanks. I'm glad your opinion is that's what your opinion is. But I agree with you. I think he's better. So yeah, but maybe that's taking some of the pressure off him and allowing him to put other parts of his game, improve in other parts of his game. Like, for example, he would be taking the corner, and now he's not taking the corner. There's 2 goals he scored now from mopping up. I think the one earlier this season was from Gibbs White. But same thing.
Yeah, I said before, though, like, when Hourihane come in, he's a left-footed midfielder that takes free kicks and corners better than Grimes does. So with, like, if, say, Smith and Fulton are fully fit, then you'd probably be looking at Grimes to maybe drop out as an argument, but can't drop him now. He's definitely taken it up another level since he's come in.
Yeah, definitely. And if we're looking at the ratings between the two as well on SofaScore, which take from that what you will, but Grimes had a 7.1, which is solid for middle of the park. They're giving Hourihane an 8, so they gave him the best rating for the game. Would you say he was man of the match? I don't actually know who the official man of the match was, but they're giving him a rating.
Who do they give man of the match to?
They've given Hourihane a rating of 8 on SofaScore. I'm not sure who the official man of the match was, but that's what I was going to say. Would you say he would have been our man of the match?
I wouldn't.
We said it in the game.
Just the fact that I think looking at the back of the game, he had a really good goal. He did some of the gritty work that Smith normally does, but I think he did, give the ball away a couple of, more than a few times as well. He got caught napping, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
So, again, it's only his second game with us, so, don't expect that much, but...
Yeah, no, that's true. I did, touching on giving the ball away, I don't know whether it was part of our game plan, like we're being a little bit more direct in areas or whatever, but looking at our midfield 3, and I did speak about this during the game when we were watching together, Hourihane had a 67% accuracy of passes, Grimes had 69, and Dan had 64, so they were all quite close. Not getting above 70, which you would say is arguably disappointing for the way that we like to play, but that's why I'm questioning maybe the way we set up, especially away lately. They're trying to be a little bit more direct with some of the stuff they're playing from midfield sometimes. Maybe that's part of the reason for that. But I don't know, I'm just asking a question. Do you think that's why maybe we're seeing the midfielders give it away a little bit more?
Well, they definitely proved it that game, didn't they? They give it away so many times, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably the more direct
30-40% of the time.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. But yeah, I guess against a team like Rotherham as well, who like to press quite a lot. A little bit physical in their approach and stuff, and high pressing. So, the bottom line is they still got the goals, and the performance was okay in the end.
All of our games have been like that though. Like we've won 3-1, but I couldn't pick out a standout performer from that game. It didn't seem like anybody sort of played particularly well, but they won.
It was just a great team performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, just knitted together quite well and done the job that they needed to do. Really, I think that's a good way to put it. All right, moving on then, we'll have a look at who we think is our best player at the end. But moving on, went in 2-0 up. Coming out then, Rotherham did come at us a little bit. I think you probably would expect it being away from home. They've had decent form themselves, so you'd expect them to offer a little bit more. They made a couple of subs. One of them managed to pull them back into the game. Freddie Ladapo, if I've said his name right. I think you said at the time, Lee, that it was a bit of a poor goal to concede.
Where did they sit in the league then?
Rotherham are down near the bottom, so they are 22nd, but they've got a couple of games in hand over the teams above them, so they've got a chance to pull out of relegation. But yeah, Lee, you said in the game you thought the goal was a little bit soft. So what did you make of it then?
It was a bit soft. I think it's hard to be critical because they've won it on the road again, like they've done so many times. But I said when we were watching it, I hate they sort of try and see a game out. They always have a good spell where they score like 2 goals or they get a goal, and then they just try and kill the game. Like we didn't offer anything going forward, and that's always going to come away from home. Like teams coming at us, and it was a matter of time before somebody sort of got back into the game against us. And I think, barring Fulton scoring with his first touch, it was going to be a long second half. So, so I think it'd been a bit picky being harsh after a 3-1 win.
Yeah,
I'd still like to see us force the issue a bit more, rather than relying on our good defence.
On that goal, I think the setup was wrong. That's all. We had, I don't know who it was marking the big guy who's come on, but he was like half his size, marking him when the ball's coming in from a long throw. And I think if you put Bennett or someone else that's taller on him, that goal wouldn't have gone in.
Yeah, I'll have to check. I'm not sure who it was marking him. Obviously, the highlights are not out yet to check the replays, but maybe it was the setup. It was a long throw, was it? I think they came from. Obviously, that's something that we've been deploying ourselves recently, so you'd think if we're looking at teams who are weak to that sort of tactic, then maybe we'd know how to make sure we don't suffer the same fate. But I guess it's something they can learn. Obviously, we have got a lot of youth at the back as well. So it's something that's happened in the game that we've ultimately won. So hopefully we can make sure it doesn't happen again. Anything you'd like to add, Chris?
You're on mute, mate.
No.
No? Okay. Quality input. But yeah, you're right. So after that, obviously, they needed 1 goal. They looked like they were a little bit on top coming back into it. I think we were all calling at the time for a couple of substitutions, as I'm sure a lot of Swans fans were, and it's quite a common theme, but we'll discuss that as well later on. He did eventually make one, and I think it was coming. Nyandander going off for Jay Fulton, couldn't really get on the ball. And I think it was his first touch, if not, it was definitely like his second or something like that. But straight away, as soon as he comes on, he makes a run going forward. And yeah, some sort of well-planned touch that puts it into the goal, a good finish in the end. You like to say Fulton top in, Scott, so what do you make of this one?
It wasn't top bins, but it was like typical Fulton of doing, a crazy goal that no one else would score.
Yeah, nitty, gritty, dirty work sort of thing, and ends up benefiting from it. But yeah, I think it was Jake Bidwell with the assist, which brings us to another talking point. Everyone, including myself, and I think a couple of us here, would have liked to see Manning get a run out today. I'm not saying that's the be-all and end-all to say he shouldn't have done so, but he's done a decent game and he's come up with an assist in the end, Jake Bidwell. So back to that same question, who would you pick over Bidwell or Manning?
I think Neil Taylor is a good left back for us, isn't he?
You're on one today, aren't you? Are you actually going to add anything constructive to this?
Tim Daly, when he was a left back for us as well.
Tian Daly, he hit the woodwork in the final against Bradford.
What a play!
Yeah, that would have been the best moment. That would have been the best moment in history.
Is that some shit quiz answer you just come up with? Is it pub quiz answer?
Well, I just remember it because he was shocking after that, and at the time he looked okay. I think last season, the first season he was here, he was actually okay, but then didn't he get released because he wanted more money, and then we re-signed him, and he was just awful.
Yeah, he scored against Everton, didn't he? They give it as an own goal, but I think we'll claim it as his only Swansea goal.
Yeah, but he was a weird one, I guess. Loudrup got something out of him, but no one else could, I guess. But yeah, back to this one then. Manning or Bidwell for the next game, which is Norwich.
I'd keep Bidwell. I think Manning would have been good in this game, but personally, I keep Bidwell going forward now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I agree. Norwich is a different sort of task, and I would have liked to see Manning given a run out in this one because I'm not discrediting Rotherham. It's a tough game, but it's the sort of game where you can maybe rotate 1 or 2 players to let them have a go, see what they're about. But when you're playing top of the league, I think you've got to go with your tried and tested, really. Yeah. Okay, Chris, here's one for you then. Your man of the match from the Swans today.
I'm trying to order my Nando's, but I'll tell you it was Hourihane.
What are you having in Nando's?
Chicken, mate.
Oh, done me.
Yeah, more important. More important. What is your national order?
No, Hourihane. Good goal. Yeah, just spark of the team.
Spark of the team, sticking with Hourihane, agreeing with the Sofa Scores rating. What about you two then, Scott? Who's your man of the match and why?
I would go with one of the defenders personally. I think we're under a lot of pressure all the game, and I think they perform well. So I'm going to go with Mark G.
Fair enough.
Gee.
Mark Guhi. That's a
Mark G.
good shout. He made a good block in the second half, a sliding challenge that could have easily got that wrong and resulted in a penalty. But
To be honest, he was
was
really
in
calm on the
control.
ball as well. Like every time he had he was trying like weird turns. It wasn't the particular what he normally does, but yeah, he was trying some new stuff as well. And yeah, I think he had a good performance. Yeah, really good.
Yeah. Okay, Lee? What are you saying?
I'm struggling really. Like I said, no one really stood out, but I probably give it to Grimes. I think he's got a good goal, didn't he? And had a couple of nice touches getting on the ball in midfield when we had that good spell in the first half. So I'll go with Grimes.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm torn between Grimes and defender, but I was going to say Bennett. So yeah, I'll go with Bennett. I think he's come back in. He looks composed. The experience, he definitely offers a lot of experience. And with the two youngsters either side him, I know Kihi is probably the one that's standing out for the season. Just consistently is always doing a job. But it's only going to make Kihi better having someone like Bennett next to him. And yeah, I think he done really well. So that's who I'm going to go for. Let's look at our predictions then from before the game. So obviously John isn't here, so I'll start with his. He said a win 1-0. So we got the result right, not the score. Chris, do you remember what you said?
1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, you did. You said win 1-0 and you said AU to score. So again, you got the points there, correct result. Scott, a bit optimistic with yours.
3-0. Well, come on, it was.
Well, I said before it was a bit optimistic, and I was. Bearing in mind we hadn't scored more than 2 goals in a league match before today. But yeah, we scored the 3, just didn't get unfortunately, we didn't get the 1. But yeah, good result. You've got the win there. And you said Lowe, Roberts and Morris.
None of them.
No, none of the goal scorers, unfortunately. Lee, what's you go for?
0-0.
Cardiff fan in disguise. He's a Cardiff fan in disguise.
Not so optimistic from Lee with the draw and 0-0. So no goal scorers. We'll just forget about that one. And I went for a win 2-1. So at one point it looked alright. But yeah, I went AU and Felton. So at least I got one of the goal scorers as well. So I put the new table up below. I don't think it changes who's at the top. Chris there on 8 points. I think you're going to be extending your lead. But good start so far to our little competition there. Okay, so the next match is against Norwich. It's based on this performance and the performance of Brentford, so Norwich are going to be at home. They played today against Middlesbrough and drew 0-0, and one key talking point from that match was the 2 yellow cards for Buendia, which result in him missing our game, because this is the second time he's been suspended this season. So does that improve our chances?
I think we had a good chance at the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does improve our chance a bit more, I think. It's just how we perform on the day, what Swans are like sometimes.
Just need to look at the Brentford home game for that, don't you?
Yeah, come on. Yeah, hopefully we'll get more shots on target and just more shots overall. But
yeah,
it's gonna be a tough game. Yeah, we're looking forward to Friday, really.
Indeed. Buendia has been the informed player in the Championship, probably. I think a lot of people would agree. SofaScore have him at an average rating of 7.46, which is top of the entire league. So you'd definitely be a massive miss for Norwich. And I haven't got it here, but I believe their record of points without him is pretty poor compared to with him. So I think it's one of the better things we could ask for going into the game.
Let's go.
A few moments later.
There we are. No worries, but yeah, I think one of the better things we could ask for. So we'll probably do a little bit of a more in detail talk about Norwich before the game. Obviously, it's on Friday, so we've got a bit of time for that. Anything else you want to talk about today then, guys? Anything else? Anyone standing out? Any other points you want to... Could talk about substitutions, I guess.
It's good that Morris came on.
Yeah.
That's a good sign that he's actually alive and kicking, I suppose.
Let's see what happens with this Areola guy, isn't it? Another one coming from the US.
Well, last we heard, it was in the balance, kind of 50-50 whether we were going to get him or not. So
right, okay. Hopefully it's 51 in our side and 49 in theirs.
I guess it's just down to the finances involved, maybe. But I know it's a loan. But...
I know nothing about the finances. So,
but yeah, so Morris did get a run out. He looked okay. He made a couple of good runs. We were a little bit frustrated though because Ayew just couldn't find him. Whether that was it wasn't really through lack of trying. He just didn't pass the ball. But I guess he showed what he's going to offer, and they just need to learn how to work together.
I was going to say that though on Ayew, we have a controversial. Not saying we should drop him, but he has been quiet lately.
Yeah.
Not quiet himself. Yeah, and it still frustrates me when he takes an extra touch all the time when he could just pass to someone. He always takes that extra touch too many.
Yeah, we don't want to criticise him. He's definitely one of the better players, but he always takes one or two touches that takes the runner out of the game by the time he actually plays the ball.
Yeah.
Which I guess that people have said for a while that he's a little bit selfish, but sometimes you want it, sometimes you don't. So just getting that balance. But you wouldn't want to tell him to stop when he's playing well. so yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's been the Rotherham victory. So a good win all round. We're looking forward to the Norwich game next Friday. We'll get something out hopefully before that one. But in the meantime, leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Subscribe as well and let us know. Yeah, subscribe. Do you want to say your little hit that subscribe button?
Yeah, we just got a message from our sponsors. So this week we've been sponsored by Taco Bell, opening today in city centre of Swansea. So thanks and get your combo.
Taco Bell is opening apparently today, but we're not sponsored by them. But yeah, leave a comment. Let us know if you agreed with our thoughts or what we got wrong, or what you thought of the game instead. And on that note, we shall see you next time. So have a good one. See you later.
# stay in school.
What is your Nando's order? I still want to know.
Yeah.
Double chicken wrap, spicy chips, and dark bread standard.